Hello, my name is Uli Blennemann of Spielworxx. I'd like to present some key mechanics of the Smoky Valley by Claude Sirois using the Tabletop simulator module of the game. The Smoky Valley is an expert game for 2 to 4 players ages 12 years and up. In the Smoky Valley, you are an investor promoting the industrial and economic development of Griffintown during the 19th century. Your goal is to get the most prestige points for participating in the development of the city so it becomes the most prosperous place in North America. During the game, you will build industries, produce and process goods, and sell those goods locally or export them to foreign markets. You will also be solicited to participate in the widening and modernization of the Lachine Canal, which has just been opened. Besides these activities, you will also have to stimulate the development of the city to boost economic activities, provide public services, and increase the quality of life of citizens. If your actions are well received by the citizens, you may even become the mayor of the city. This office will offer you the chance to influence the city's development for the best of your interests. So, let us take a look at the board. And here is the parts of the main board. And there are 5 rounds in the game where you will conduct actions. 1840, 1845, 1850, 1855 and 1860. I won't mention the other phases here today. They are quick administrative phases. So, what do you do in the game? As in a lot of games, you try to win the most points. In the Smoky Valley, they are called prestige points. And you see the prestige track over here. So here you are scoring points. You see that Griffintown consists of 5 districts. Let me show you the board a little bit better here. So we are having McCord, St. Anne, and then St. Gabriel, Le Bassin, and Wellington. And the latter 3 are located at the canal. You see, St. Gabriel, Le Bassin, and Wellington are located at the canal. Let us take a look at a player board. Let me load this, load camera. And so here's the green player boards, I must say. And most important here is the top track. So here, the money track. And it tells the player how many pounds you have. So for example, here at this moment, it's 8 pounds. Let me zoom in a little bit. And most actions in the game cost money. Resources are placed here. So a player starts with 1 each of basic resources, and these are 3 processed resources which a player does not have at the start of the game. So then you see also the action board here. And it tells you in which of the districts, I mentioned them earlier, the player currently is. The ship here on the top tells it. So right now, this green player is in the Wellington district. If you move downstream, so to the right, it doesn't cost any money. But if you move upstream, so to the left, let's say from St. Gabriel to Wellington, it costs £1. If you stay stationary at a district, it also costs £1. So what can I do in a turn? Let us take a look at the district tile. And when I'm saying district tile, this is a district tile here. So that's a district tile for Wellington. And I'll start in the top left, so this action here. You are building an industry. This costs £2. You also have to spend resources, and later you gain 1 popularity because you are doing something for the city. So let me load the camera. and move to 5 to the industry board over here. And these are the available industry tiles in the game. And let's say I'm building this grain silos here in Wellington. In addition to gaining a popularity, I'll take this tile and move it to Wellington, to the canal, and then I can place it. Let's say I'm placing it here. There's also a bonus for placing it here, but I won't mention this at this moment. So I'm placing it here, and of course I have to mark it so that it's mine. So this is now marked, and you also see what you can later do. I will get to this in a second. I would also have to pay a wood for placing it. These are the costs in resources. So the grain silo here costs a wood resource. But I can also, let me move down here again, I can also upgrade an industry that I have built earlier. This is the option in the top right over here. So let me go back to the tile. I'm sorry for being this slow. So I can flip the tile. And this, let me reflip it for a second. You see, these are the costs for upgrading it. So it would be here an iron and a wood. And then I can flip it. And for flipping it, I would also get 3 prestige points. But now these grain silos are more effective, so they are better in the game. And this costs 1 money. Then the third action, what you can do in the game is that you are producing goods. Let me go back to the player. No, this was the wrong one, so 2-1. So let me go back to the district tile. Here I'm producing goods in a district. And I can do this no matter who owns the industry. So let's say these are all owned here in Wellington by another player. I can still produce in them. I could produce in all 3 industries, even in the neutral wood depot, and each production costs 1 money here. So I need to pay this. And then I would get what is to the right of this arrow. So 2 wood here, if I produce here, 2 grain, and another 2 grain over here. So this is what I could do. Let's assume this is a grain silo from another player. This player would get what is in brackets, so 1 grain in this case. Also, if you produce in 2 or more industries of another player, you get 1 popularity. So it even may help you to produce in another player's industries. But I can also develop a service in this game, and let me load the camera again. So here you see the service tiles that are available. So for 2 players there are just 2 per round. For 3 or 4 players there's a 3rd one. You also need to pay a resource. In 1840 it's 1 coal. Later in 1860 it will be 2 coals. You're getting a prestige point and definitely an advantage. So I could take this one, costs me a money, and then I'm placing it in a spot, in a service location spot. So that's another action that is possible. But I can also develop the canal in the game, because you see the canal, it's an important thing to do. So there are always 6 canal tiles available, and 2 per district that is located at the canal. So 2 for St. Gabriel, 2 for Le Bassin, and 2 for Wellington. And I can pick 1 depending on where I am. So I would take here 1 of the Wellington tiles and would take it all the way back to my board, and then I can place it down here in one of the spots. and it will definitely bring me a nice advantage. And remember, this is only be possible in a canal district. Will also, because I'm doing something for the city, for the canal, gain me one popularity, and it costs a resource. If I have an industry in a district, I may purchase a city card only if I have at least one industry in this district. Of course, this will bring popularity and advantages. So let's take a quick look here. This should be the camera position. Yes. So this is the module for the city cards. And here's, by the way, a popularity track. And let's say I would at a certain point reach 5. I get a bonus, I get some money over here. And then I could pick one of the cards. All of them are good and would place them down at near my board. But I can also board a trader or load goods at foreign markets or for foreign markets. And there are 3 foreign markets: Great Britain, the US, and the West Indies. And let's see if I can find them quickly. Yes. So these are the 3 markets. And you see, all of these markets have a certain demand for goods. So one like wood, a lot of wood, others like grain, and some like beers. Here in the West Indies, machines are also in high demand. And depending on the district tile, let's move back down here, I can either load a trader on board. So at McCourt and at St. Anne, I can load a trader. At the other 3 tiles, at the canal, at Wellington, at St. Gabriel, or at La Basson, I can load 2 goods on 2 different ships. And later, there may be ships from more than one player on a ship. This is totally fine. And by the way, there will be later larger ships available. And you see here are a few in the canal. This has a destination: Great Britain, US, and West Indies. And let's say I put a trader on it. It goes to the first position here, and goods will be later placed over here. And when I load the first good, let's say this is going to Great Britain, I determine which type of good is at the ship. So I'm taking this tile and put it in here. And this can't be taken for another ship going to Great Britain, because it's possible that there is more than one. And when the ships are full, so let's say this pot is also loaded, then the ship will be moved to the foreign market, and the trader will bring lots of advantages, and the goods will bring prestige points too. And as I said, later there will be larger ships. So let's take one here, for example, and flip it. And you see it has 3 spots instead of just 2. And finally, you may trade at the local market. This is also possible, and this is in addition to another action. So this is the local market over here in Griffintown, and for example, you could trade money for a basic good when you're in need of it, or you could trade 3 basic goods for a coin, or 1 basic good and 1 processed goods for a coin. So this may help you at a certain moment. And of course, there is a lot more in the Smoky Valley, and it is not a game just about shipping. I like to describe it as a game which has a very clear focus, because you are taking a look at where you are, so in Wellington, and what you can do. So this focuses you, in my opinion, extremely well. And the game also has a wonderful rhythm. Do I go here step by step, always downstream, costing no money? Or do I stay at a certain district several of my player turns? But of course, being stationary, it will cost more money, which I'm losing for action. And what is also nice, because I'm doing just one of these available actions, or maybe a little bit more if I'm trading at the local market, it has, for a game of its complexity, there is very little downtime. So I have to applaud the designer Claude Sirois here in a very big way. And we would be very thankful for your support of the Smoky Valley. Thanks a lot.